Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Tokyo Living Podcast. This is episode 3 in a 4-part series we're doing for what we're terming Mental Health Month between World Suicide Prevention Day and World Mental Health Awareness Day. And today we have on Elana Gilbert, who is a past guest and also a past host, and also Rena Takahashi. Ladies, welcome to the show, and thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Now, as I said, Elana has been on a couple of times in the past, but Rena, this is your first time on the podcast.
Yep.
Rena, you are a massage therapist at Club 360. Perhaps if you can just you give the listeners and viewers a little bit of background on yourself.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Sam. I think Club 360 listeners can recognize me as a receptionist, but I'm a New York State licensed massage therapist, and that's what I do for a living. And for how I got into massage, it's kind of a long story, but I never expected that I would become a massage therapist because what brought me to New York was actually to study fashion marketing. I used to work in the fashion industry before moving to New York. And I went to a fashion school in New York for about 2 terms, and I realized fashion was not for me. And then I quit the school and spent maybe like a couple of years just to, trying to figure out what I wanted to do or what I wanted to become. But I was certain that, if I want to get my life work, it's going to be something that makes myself and other people happy. And I shifted my focus onto my happiness. And then back then I was super active. Like I exercised or train at the gym almost every day. And around the same time, I was working at a Japanese-owned massage studio as a receptionist. And then I saw many therapists who were proud of what they were doing. And also seeing clients who came in for massage, like super stressed out and frustrated. And then after the session, like they came out the massage rooms super happy or, it looks totally different, was inspiring. And then it made me wonder what kind of magic they used, So yeah, that was definitely one of the factors that got me into massage. And yeah, so get back to a training. Like I went to the gym almost every day, and then kind of I want to know more about the muscles. And then from the experience working at a Japanese massage studio, some of therapists there were smaller than I am. So I was like, if they can do massage, I should be able to do that as well. And then that's how I got into massage. And I love it so far. Yeah. And yeah, I've been practicing massage since 2017. And yeah, while I was in New York, I got to work with a wide variety of clients from patients with a chronic pain or serious conditions at NYU Langone Orthopedic Hospital to CrossFit athletes for pre and post workout massage. And of course, any clients coming for a massage to where I worked. And also, what I like about being massage therapist is this job is so fulfilling and rewarding. Like when I see people's reactions after my session, they go like, "Oh, that was so amazing," or "You made my day." That gives me confidence, and also, the feeling of making somebody's life better itself is healing to me as well. And yeah, and I'm happy and grateful to be able to work at a Club 360 because I really enjoy working with the people who have different injuries or conditions and then being a part of their recovery journey. And I'm glad we get to talk about massage therapy and mental health today because that's something I always keep in mind as a therapist. So yeah, thank you so much for having me today.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. It's similar to my story in that I also realized that fashion wasn't for me, but I actually realized this before I went to college for it. So yes, I pity the fact that you had to go through that just to realize that. No, thank you very much for the introduction there, Rena. So the purpose of today's episode, yes, some of the other guests that I've had on the show are, doctors or therapists and counselors, and approaching mental health management or prevention of mental health conditions from, I guess, more of a traditional medical perspective. Today, I wanted to talk about the importance of doing things for ourselves, the importance of taking time out and really applying that self-care. And I thought that it would be a good combination to have Elana as a manager of a beauty salon and spa to come on. But I thought it'd be a good opportunity to combine it with some of the positive mental health aspects, positive psychological benefits of massage as well. I think these are two slightly separate topics, but so things that go well together. And so I thought it'd be good to combine in terms of one episode. So I might just start with you, Lani. Why is it important that people take time out for themselves? And what are some of the benefits you've seen psychologically from the treatments that you offer in your business?
Well, simply, every person should invest in themselves, as well as the obvious, physical benefits that you get from a beauty treatment. There are also emotional benefits. There are numerous ways to practice self-care, but focusing your efforts on improving your skin health, for example, pays off for your mental and emotional health, as they can be intertwined. So you can do this at the spa, but this is even something that you can do at home. So I recommend in the evening, taking a little time out to focus on yourself by having a good skincare routine. Not only just by applying the products, it's like, it's the end of the day, I'm tired, but I have to take my makeup off, so it's more about the process. So enjoying, the actual routine of it. You can do this by doing a little self-massage when you're applying your serum or moisturizer. Not only does this feel nice, but it helps to stimulate and bring more oxygen and nutrients to the skin. So this will help to eliminate toxins, which will not only help your skin appearance, but it can, relieve stress as well. Also, in some cases, having this routine is critical for your overall health in both body and mind. As researchers have found that people who have less consistency in their routine throughout the active parts of the day are more likely to suffer from major depressive and bipolar disorders, mood problems, loneliness, and even just less happiness. But like you said, in the spa, what we see in the spa is that we always recommend having a scheduled visit to the spa or salon, because no matter the treatment that you have, you're going to notice that your mind immediately begins to feel at ease, the moment you enter the spa.
I think that this works well. I spoke to Billy Cleary yesterday from TEL, as the clinical director, and we talked about the benefits of exercise. And I think part of that is the distraction from other, things that might be stressing you throughout your life. And in some forms of exercise are more beneficial than others, and it's completely dependent on the person. We talked about me as a martial artist, a very, very, very former combat sports athlete. When I'm in a combat situation, that's when I'm freest. I'm not thinking about anything else. And I think if you from a personal perspective, if you're someone that really gets caught up in the process of a beauty treatment or the process of a massage, I think just having that as a distraction from your everyday life can be really beneficial. Now, I guess there's somewhat of a stigma associated with things such as, attending a spa, viewed as more of a sort of luxury service. And maybe not so much, people will, if you take time out of your day or even sort of taking time out of work to go and visit a doctor, or go visit a psychologist or something like that. It's seen as a very necessary part of your life. But going to do something like that, attending spa, is probably seen in a little bit of a different light. But how do you think that people should sort of reframe these type of experiences?
No, of course, because, experiencing, professional treatments, this, allows you to unwind and de-stress. I have a lot of people falling asleep in facials, to be honest. But, just having somebody else take care of you with any treatment, being that facial, it has, bedded your skin and left it with a smooth, healthy glow. Or, you're having a waxing treatment, get rid of all that unwanted hair. Or even, a nail treatment that has you smiling every time you look down at the color of your nails, that could last for weeks. Just, having yourself treated in any way, you can look forward to leaving the spa feeling radiant and the best version of yourself. Rena can get into more details about, massage. She's obviously it's her expertise. But, for a facial, for example, this detoxifies the skin built up from waste and bacteria. Now, this is important because the skin is not only the largest organ of the body, as we know, it's also the first line of defense against environmental toxins. So having a facial is not only relaxing, but it provides many benefits, including noticeable improvement in your skin tone, texture, and appearance, which may also help you if you're feeling to enhance your body confidence. Having a facial and having your skin glow will help you with that confidence. Actually, a journal of biomedical research has shown that a facial massage decreases anxiety and mood and negative mood, as well as increase the autonomic nervous system activity, providing strong beneficial effects of stress alleviation and psychological relaxation. Basically put, reducing your anxiety levels and uplifts your mood. Really, just, I guess, at the end of the day, it's really only natural to feel your best self after leaving the spa.
Rena, we could put massage into a similar category in terms of, quote unquote, non-essential service or activity. And many of the points that Lani has already discussed are equally true about massage. But what are some of the specific psychological benefits that are more specific to massage?
Well, specific psychological benefits. I mean, psychologically, massage therapy has been proven to offer many benefits for mental health issues such as depression, anxiety, stress, just to name a few. But in general, massage therapy is done in a relaxing environment. For example, like therapists put aroma diffuser or put on relaxing music. And then that environment itself provides clients with like a safe, quiet, and a private space. And in terms of a session, I would say slow strokes give clients some time to open up their emotions. And yeah, I want to dig into this a little more. But there are some quotes that I want to share from this book.
Okay.
Yeah, The Body Keeps a Score. So this book is about a trauma, and the section I'm going to read is about how mindful touch can influence traumatized victims. So in this book, the author asked his favorite bodywork practitioner about her practice with the traumatized individuals and what bodywork does for those people. And then the practitioner says, mindful touch and movement grounds people and allows them to discover tensions that they may have held for so long that they're no longer even aware of them. When the physical tension is released, the feelings can be released. People who are terrified need to get a sense of where their bodies are in space and of their boundaries. They discover that their body is solid and that they don't have to be constantly on guard. Touch lets them know that they are safe. So, like Lani said earlier, skin is the largest organ in our body and also the place where we feel sense, whether it's cold or hot or pain. And massage is a skin to skin contact, obviously. And mindful touch gives clients a chance to be aware of where the tension comes from. And when they're able to pay more attention to their body, they'll be able to reflect more on what causes those stress or tension. And eventually, they will be find connection with their bodies. And also for therapists, we're able to find a connection with the clients. And for me, like when I have someone who seems stressed out, like for the first 5-10 minutes, like they still like their body feels like super tight, like they're still feel stressed out, and maybe like when I work on their back, like there is some point they go like kind of like let go, and then that point I know that they trust my touch.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, another story I want to share is about a client back from New York. So she had an emotional breakdown during my session. So while I was working on her back, she started crying. And I asked her if she wanted to continue. And she said, yeah. So we finished the session. But after the session, she told me like her mother or grandmother, I don't remember exactly, but her loved one passed away a while ago. And then she held like a sorrow for a long time. And then because of the massage, like she was able to kind of, let it go.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was kind of like a turning point for me, like where I realized the power of touch because it was kind of like an early stage after I became a licensed massage therapist. And before the experience, I felt like I was only like focusing on like massage, like, oh, these muscles are tight and then these muscles are connected to this and that, you know. But from that point on, I started to focus more on how clients' bodies react to my touch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I mean, it sounds like there's some powerful emotional responses from people that can occur during a massage. What are some of the precautions then that you might need to take to make sure this is a positive experience?
Yeah. So what I usually keep in mind, especially for those who suffer from traumas, or keep boundaries. Yeah. So for example, draping. Uh, if the client feels safe and protected, or positioning, if the facing down is comfortable for them, because sometimes facing down can be triggering, or even like taking off their clothes. Maybe they're not ready for that. Or stretching, especially for those who have been sexually abused, like, like specific stretches, like inner thigh muscles, like we kind of have to open up their legs. So if they're okay with that, or like a place to start, like if they want therapists to start with their hands or feet, or if they want us to stay there, something like that. And then these are so critical. And usually first things we learn in school, like in the first semester, because it's so important to keep in mind.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
We spoke to Dr. Tom Lomax 2 episodes ago about the difference between mental health management in Japan and overseas. What has been your experience with this between here and the US, and how does this sort of relate to massage treatment?
Yeah. So for me, I would say like seeing a therapist, like mental health professionals, like psychiatrist or psychologist, seems pretty natural or normal for people in the United States, or I don't maybe in New York at least. Yeah. And people seem to take more time for themselves, for self-care, um, including going to a spa or getting a massage. But in Japan, I feel like a stigma around mental health is just, still going on. Like if you have like a mental health issues, people might see you crazy or even psychopath, you know?
Mm.
Not many people would, go see their therapist, mental health professionals, or get a massage for that. And I'm not sure if that comes from like social pressure or shame or maybe like a lack of the resources that people need. And then during the COVID, I heard the suicide rate, women in particular, is much higher than the one in men. And then that was shocking as a woman myself. Um, so I feel like in Japan, like generally we need more support for those who suffer from mental health issues. Um, yeah. And my experience, so I've never been diagnosed with any mental health issues, but I'm pretty sure I have depression. Especially, I was deeply depressed between my late teenage years to maybe like mid 20s. And I had no one to share what I was going through back then. I felt like I hit rock bottom. And one time, like when I was in college, I was deeply depressed and I seriously needed some advice from somebody. And then I went to see a school counselor. And then I talked to her about what I was going through, like my situation and like everything. And I ended up getting no advice from her, nothing at all. Like she couldn't even say a word. And then I was like, okay, even the school counselors cannot say anything about my situation. And then my situation was that bad. So then, yeah, I stopped talking or sharing my story to anybody. I just, kept all of the negative emotions in me and then moved on.
Mm.
So looking back on it, that was one of the hardest times in my life, but the experience definitely made me, stronger for sure. But still, there is some part of me being vulnerable or fragile. But because of the experience, I can integrate that feeling into my massage. You know, I mean, not like negative feelings, but like how I um came over or overcame the experience.
I think
Yeah.
it gives you that sense of empathy,
Yeah, exactly.
and understanding for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, I was gonna say like I can relate to people like who are in pain. I mean, emotionally.
Mm.
Yeah. I mean, it's not that I understand 100% of their pain or struggles, because everyone goes through different, experiences. But I do know how it feels like when life throws you like setbacks or obstacles, and then I believe being empathetic towards clients um, can help them, unwind from negative emotions. Yeah.
For sure. Well, I mean, thank you so much for sharing that sort of personal experience, Rena. And like I said, I think that when you do have that, it does sort of, give you a sense of empathy towards the client and really help them with their struggles and help you tailor your treatment, to help them in the best way possible. So there's some fantastic points brought up there, ladies. I'd like to thank you both for coming on today. I think that the listeners and viewers will get a lot out of it. I'll put the links in the show notes, but obviously if people want to come in and get beauty treatment, whether it be facial massage, waxing, eyelashes, nails, all that, please go and check out Elana Jade. And if you feel like you could benefit from the massage services that we offer at Club 360, then please come and see Rena or one of our other fantastic massage therapists. Thanks very much for coming on, ladies. And thanks everyone for listening and watching.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you, Rena, for sharing that story as well. That's
Of course. Thank you, Learning.
All right. Have a great day.
bye.
Thank you.